Hello everyone and welcome to Braided Bolt. I'm Sippycup and this is going to be part 1 of my collaborative Dwarf Fortress series. So this is done in conjunction with Damo 2986, DOS 24680, and Pewpewchewchew, not Poo-Poo-Choo-Choo, that's something totally different, who had years 1, 2, and 3 respectively. I believe another YouTuber, Riot House LP, was supposed to have been year 4, but that he is sort of AWOL, I guess, and it falls to me to manage the fortress for a year. So, with that said, I guess let's get right to it. So, if you saw the episode that DOS did on his channel, wherein I was introduced, then you'll know that I already had a little bit of a look through. I guess a quick word about me. So, if you're new to my channel, hello, welcome. Take off your shoes and stay a while. I'm Sippycup. If you're old to the channel and you've been around a while, hello again and welcome back. So this is Braided Bolt. Braided Bolt is the fortress that these guys have been managing for 3 years now. Well, in Dwarf Fortress time. And as you can see, there's definitely some stuff going on. So, there's bodies strewn about. There's a room that seems to be filled almost entirely with bones and, oh, this is muscle shells actually. So I poked around a little bit last night and I did a couple of things. I had recorded, but I was so tired that I wasn't really happy with that recording. Rather than revert to an earlier version, I figured I would just kind of come back and cover briefly what I've done. So one thing is I noticed that there was a lot of stuff that was stacking up outside the fortress. And the reason, I think, was that the refuse stockpile was really only this small area. Now that I have expanded the refuse stockpile by a bit, you can see that a lot of stuff is getting hauled out of the fortress. The next thing I did was there was a scarcity of crossbow ammunition, so I went into the stocks screen and I unforbade some ammunition here. So this is ammunition that was sort of strewn about the battlefield. And since somebody's probably going to ask, I figure I might as well mention now, this tile set is Space Fox. It is included in the newest version, release 39, of the PeridexisErrant Lazy Newb pack. If you look at the GUI here, you'll see it's down at the bottom just below Phoebus. So this is actually the first time that I saw this tile set was, I believe it was DOS 24680 who used it on his turn, and I really liked it. It's got this really kind of cool, almost not a Nintendo look to it. It's hard to explain, but reminds me of my youth for some reason, and I decided to check it out. My understanding is that it's essentially built on top of Phoebus, so any assets that are currently missing, and it is still a work in progress, will simply default to the Phoebus counterpart. Alright, so getting back to what I've done, so I already talked about the refuse pile, I already talked about reclaiming crossbow bolts. So the next thing, DOS had mentioned during the walk through the fortress that there were some dwarves who were currently in the hospital but had not yet received treatment. And let me try to find them. They are up here. So the other thing I did was I gave them tables next to their beds, which is a requirement for receiving medical care. So let's actually go in here and check out his wounds. Actually, no, what I want is I want to get his treatment history. So let's see if I can get that here. Health, wounds, needs setting, smashed apart. Hopefully we've got some splints. Usually there's, oh, okay. Brought to rest in bed, clean, evaluated. Let's see, where are we here? Clean, evaluated, 20 obsidian. Can't tell if it's I guess it's chronologically oldest at the top, right? Sure. Evaluated, again, Ambrose Caldathek. Yeah, anyway, there's a doctor who's checking them out. One thing I noticed was that if I look at the zone information for the hospital, and I check out the hospital info, there doesn't appear to be any thread. So plenty of cloth, splints, crutches, powder, buckets, pretty much everything you could want except for soap and thread. So I guess a couple of priorities will be one, getting some thread, and another, getting some soap. Soap has always been a tricky thing. It requires a lot of pieces. You need lye, I believe. You need fat rendered from animals, which shouldn't be a problem because I believe that we have a kitchen around here somewhere that is rendering fat, wherever that might be. Oh, fish, no, that's not it. Butcher shop, tanner shop. Somewhere, I swear, there's a kitchen rendering fat. I saw it with my own eyes. Anywho, alright, so that's something else I did. One other thing, I'm trying to think. One other thing I did was I expanded this this meeting hall. The area that was designated was not the full area. Not that that's a huge deal, but and, you know, the thoughts of the dwarves are basically saying that it's already legendary. But you know, I figured might as well get a little more space. So a couple things. I noticed that we had some extra tables and chairs, so I might as well build a couple of tables really quickly, seeing as how we've got all this extra space now. And to sort of keep with the layout, I'll try to make it aesthetically pleasing and consistent with what's already here. And then I need some chairs. Fortunately, we seem to have quite a few of those. So I think the fortress population is something like 100 right now, over 100. Let's take a look at Dwarf Therapist real quick. So we've got 92 adults, 6 children, 3 babies, 101 total population. Very exciting. Alright, hopefully I'll not kill all of them, maybe a few of them. Some will probably die, almost certainly. Okay, so the other thing, I was warned that there was probably a vampire on the loose, still. I know about Battle Mace, who's down in the cave layer, who's been sort of restricted there, right next to a forgotten beast, but supposedly there's one more vampire on the loose. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about vampires, but there is a dead giveaway that will tell you, usually, with a pretty high degree of certainty, whether or not a dwarf is a vampire. And the way to see that is to look at their thoughts and preferences. And I don't know if this has been discussed in previous videos, but let's take a look at his thoughts and preferences. Now, do you notice this line here? He needs alcohol to get through the working day and can't even remember the last time he had some. The reason he has this message, I'm pretty sure I remember reading this somewhere long ago, is that vampires don't drink or eat like normal dwarves. They only feed on blood. So the reason that he hasn't had a drink in forever is because he doesn't drink drinks anymore. He only drinks blood. So I got to thinking, well, why don't I just go through the rest of the dwarf population and see if anybody else has those messages. So I identified 2 other dwarves that had that message. One of whom was Balcor. Now the thing is, let's actually zoom to, well, here, let's first look at his thoughts. You see it says that he is starting to work slowly due to scarcity. Oh, okay, well, I think that he's been given a drink recently. Well, why don't I just go ahead and zoom to him and show you why I realized that he is not the vampire. He is in the hospital, and that's why he hadn't gotten a drink in a while. It was because he was in the hospital. Now, the other guy is Sigun, a woodworker. So let's check this guy out. He is gone without a drink for far, far too long. He is a fisher dwarf, if I'm not mistaken. Let's zoom to him real quick and see what he's doing. So he's out here at the river, fishing up some fish. I got my eye on you, Sigun. I have a feeling that you are up to no good. Can't prove it yet, but I'm pretty sure. So, okay, so that's basically what's going on right now. We've got some cave dragons that are in cages, and I don't really know 100% how to go about training them. I was taking a look at the animals tab here, and I didn't see them. So it could be that I'm going to approach this a different way. I may have to do some research. I don't think I've ever tried to tame enemy creatures before. I've only tried to, I've only trained, for instance, regular old dogs to be war dogs or hunting dogs and things like that. I'm sure that there's a way to do it. I've just got to look into it. So the other thing is I was looking at the stocks and I noticed that, let me get down to the appropriate section here. There should be bars. Bars. Where are you, bars? Bars. We have tons of iron bars. Tons and tons of iron bars. Only a couple pig iron bars. And not a lot of charcoal or ash. So probably one of the next things I want to do is get this steel industry kick-started. I'm assuming that we've got some flux stone that we can use. Mudstone, granite, schist. I can't remember. I have a feeling that schist is a flux stone. I'm not 100% sure about that. But, well, we'll find out in pretty short order. Anywho, well, let's just see what happens. I'm going to go down to one of the furnaces. It should be down here. This appears to be a wood. Oh, that's a wood furnace. Yeah, he's making charcoal. Okay, that's what I want. And what's this guy doing? He's forging iron breastplates. Not quite on repeat, but quite a bit. Okay. Where's the smelter? Who's got the smelter? Furnace, smelter. Smelt magnetite ore on repeat. Okay. So we probably have enough of that. I'm going to replace this task. Whoops. Can we make pig iron? We can't. Requires fuel. Flux stones, refined coal. Huh. Okay. But this person is making charcoal. How could we not have enough? Here's another wood furnace. Let's get these guys going too. On repeat. And we should have somebody else that can come down and help with the wood burning. And if not, it's a pretty simple matter to assign somebody else the labor. Let's just double check real quick. So wood burning is here. Let's scroll down and see who's got it enabled. One person, Bronzebeard, Olan Migrer, and then Glod, and Jeffrey, not Joffrey. Joffrey's a punk. And so just two people that have the labor enabled, it looks like. Jeffrey and Bronzebeard. So, let's do this guy here. What is he doing right now? He's a guard's dwarf. Okay, so he's not going to be burning any wood right now. No big deal. Alright, so we'll get that charcoal going. And we should have flux stone. I'm pretty sure that one of those is. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that. The next thing is, well, so the reason I want to make steel is because I was looking through the stocks again just to kind of take stock, no pun intended, of what we've got as far as weapons and armor. Seeing as how we're getting so many sieges, I figured it might behoove us to invest in some better weapons and armor. So I noticed that there are no steel weapons and armor with the exception of one steel pick, steel crossbow. As far as let's see, that's weapons. As far as legwear, don't see any steel, unless I'm quite mistaken. What about helmets? Footwear, headwear, iron helmets, plenty of those. Why are they forbidden, I wonder? Copper helms, bismuth bronze helms. I certainly don't want the iron helms to be forbidden. Cave spider stuff can stay forbidden, that's fine. Whoops. Let's get back down to the legwear. That's fine, that's fine. Copper helms, well, I might as well unforbid those too. Handwear, sure, why not. Footwear, mostly fur and silk, which is fine. Shields and bucklers, there appear to be a large number of iron copper shields forbidden for whatever reason, so I will unforbid those. No backpacks forbidden, fine, good, all good. Okay, so that should enable us to get some more equipment. Looks like somebody else came down here and is now helping me make some charcoal, so that's good. And I believe that the bar stockpile is down here, so there should be lots of that. Now, let's see, I probably want... I noticed that there was some stuff that was a little disorganized up here. So I might want to make some more bins. There's a carpenter workshop. Here's some. Carpenter, carpenter. This would be mechanic, craftsdwarf, 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 mason, mason. Okay. So let's make these guys make some bins. And this guy makes some bins. I'm of the mind that you can never have too many bins. Alright, so now I got the bins going, got the charcoal going. Uh-oh, stray water buffalo calf starved to death. What? How did this happen? Where are you? Down here. Stray water buffalo calf starved to death. Okay, so probably because it's hanging out in the meeting hall, and do we have anybody with the animal care labor enabled? A couple people have it enabled. What is this guy doing? Where were you when the water buffalo calf died? Asshole. Animal care. What else? This guy's got it. In the whole fortress, three people have the labor enabled. This guy's a guards dwarf, so maybe no, one more there. This guy's also a guards dwarf. Okay, well, there's probably a better solution. What I think I will do, oops, I've got sound sense updating in the background, because then you guys will have some nice soothing music as well as fun sound effects to listen to, rather than my droning monotonous voice. Well, okay, so what I'm probably going to want to do is set up a pasture outside so that people don't have to bring the nice animals. Well, here, let's look around and see. Are there any pastures outside somewhere that I'm just not seeing? I guess not. I'm going to put a pasture right by this river here. Big old pasture, big enough for all the animals. We'll call this pen pasture. And then we'll set the information and add some stuff here. So I noticed that there's already one for the fowl. So I think I just need to, oops, what's going on here? How can I, here. Okay, so the cats are fine, hens. Now let's see, I'll add the stray yak bowl. That's a turkey, that's fine. Hens are fine. Drake is a duck. Cats and dogs are fine. It's mostly that's a guinea hen, I think. Cat, turkey, dog, puppy. No, there's lots of cats and puppies, but not a lot of, oh, piglet, okay, that can go. Horse foal, sure, yes. Ah, I can assign the war cave dragon to the to the pasture. That's interesting. I'm almost tempted to assign them to the pasture just to see what happens, but I'm also scared of what might happen. Not caged. Non-grazing. Currently pastured female male. Oh, it's some DF hack filtering stuff down there. Cat. Okay, so I guess that's everything that needs to happen there. So now somebody should drag these guys out. And by guys, I mean animals. And see how our refuse pile's doing. Still plenty of capacity. Good, good. Man, this place is a mess. Just look at all those blood and bodies. And let's see, what's going on with these farms? So we've got plenty of food, I think. You don't usually need a ton of farms to support everyone once you kind of get things going, especially if you've got nest boxes like there appear to be here. Nest box unclaimed. Because eggs are a great source of food. Let's take a look at the stocks one more time and see how we're doing on food and drinks. So we have tons of meat, just tons and tons of meat. Quite a few prepared meals. Lots of eggs, yeah. That once you get Once you get a few fowl, your eggs just go crazy. And drinks, we've got a decent amount. Dwarven wine, got some ale, some sewer brew, that sounds appetizing. I think I've had beers like that before. And let's see, somebody stopped to construct wooden bin because why? Why? Why did you stop that? Needs logs. Out of logs, I see. Okay. Well, we do have these subterranean tree farms down here. Let's see, can we chop down any trees? Are there any choppable trees down here? No, didn't seem to be. What about down here? Thought that there was some. Let's have a look, shall we? Mudstone. Muddy shrub. I guess maybe we don't have any choppable trees down here. Well, okay, we can always get some on the surface, not a big deal. Let's do this. Let's do chop some trees. There, that's a fair few. Wow, I guess I need to learn more about this DF hack stuff. It's been a while since I played, and it seems like every time I play, DF hack has more little quality of life fixes and adjustments. So I think these people are probably coming to chop the trees. They are, that's good. Somebody canceled suture, need thread. Okay, I think that if I have, I believe I remember seeing a farm workshop down here somewhere around the same area where the kitchens are. Let's see, what's this? Smelter, no, that's not the right place. Let's go up one or two. Where was that? Further down? Yes, here, let's see. Tanner shop, butcher shop, farmer's workshop. Should be able to process spin thread. I think that's what I want. Spin thread, repeat. Hopefully we should have some kind of plant that we can use to spin thread. We've also got the cavern layer where they're, oh, here we go. Somebody's working on that. Okay, so that guy's spinning some thread. Do we have any other farmer workshops? I think that might be the only one right now. This guy's bringing some. You know, I'm going to dig out a little bit here and make another farmer workshop, because I want to make sure we have plenty of thread. We could actually probably even get our clothes making industry going. Pencils make wooden bolts. Yeah, I probably don't need to be making bolts. I remember there's a bowyer around here somewhere. I think it's here. Yep, so I don't need any bolts right now. Or is that a craft store? Dwarf workshop that makes bolts. I always forget. Rock pot, crafts, mason, carpenter's workshop. Stock level is low, wood bolt. That's okay because I just reclaimed a ton of metal bolts. So that's fine. Alright, so do we have thread in the hospital now? That is the question. Now that somebody has made some, did it find its way to where it needs to be? Let's check the stocks. Now we've got some thread in the hospital, so these guys can get sutures, so that's good. I don't know whether they will need a traction bench, but I'll probably get a message telling me that's the case if they do need a traction bench. Alright, while this is going, I guess I'll take a quick look at how the military is set up. So we have a melee squad, what appears to be a melee squad, combined swords dwarves and axe dwarves. We've got guards dwarves and marks dwarves. And we've got one guy, battle mace. Ah yes, he is the vampire, and he is a blood warden. very appropriate name. Alright, cool. So I may end up having this guy fight that forgotten beast at some point. It'll be like, what is that one? Helsing. It'll be our own personal vampire to do our bidding. And alright, so things, I think all in all, this isn't as bad as it could be. From outward appearances, I was a little afraid coming into this that things would be a bit scarier, but now that I'm here, I feel like really they've done quite a fine job. Moving wood into our stockpiles, that's good. We've got bins. Resuming production on drinks. We've got room outside for all the garbage that accumulated over the long years. We've got our nice little trade depot. We've got those cave war dragons, which I must say I'm quite excited to get those fighting for us. But we'll probably take a little bit of research. That will probably be in the next episode. In between this one and that one, I'll do a bit of research to find out what's needed to get those on the field fighting for the right side. And yeah, so I guess that's going to be mostly it. Really just kind of wanted to take a bit of a look around, see if there's any proverbial low-hanging fruit for me to pluck. And I think I addressed most of those really pressing needs. Of course, the 2 dwarves who are in the hospital here and not really receiving care. And now it looks like they're getting some treatment. Let's check in on them, by the way, and see how they're doing. Let's look at his health. History. Clean, evaluated, clean, evaluated. Evaluated, clean, clean, clean. Okay, sure. Who got the stitches? Was it you? No medical history, no treatment scheduled, no evaluated wounds, no health problems. How can that be? That can't be right. Oh, he's the doctor. That's why. Let's try that again. Oh no, he lost his ability to stand, and his ability to grasp is somewhat impaired. Left upper leg bone smashed apart. Let's see, does he have nerve damage? That's the question. If he doesn't have nerve damage, he'll probably regain his ability to stand. Okay, oh yes, I can see that it's been sutured. So his right hand needs setting, it's been smashed apart. Needs dressing, needs immobilization. Ah, does need immobilization. I think that is going to mean that I need to build a traction bench. Traction bench, if I'm not mistaken, is built at a mason's workshop, which should be around here. Let's make one of those. I can never remember where they live. No? Is it not a mason's workshop? Or maybe it's a mechanic's workshop. Traction bench, yes. There we go. Let's make 2 of those. Traction bench 2. Escape done. Resume. As long as I've got mechanisms, and I can't remember if it takes rope or not. But I guess we'll see. Alright, cool. So we're moving in the right direction. Getting those dwarves the care that they deserve. Let's see, who's our leader? They're getting Horston care. The controversial Horston care program, which promises free aid to all dwarves. And good, yes, we've got a well here. I guess the next thing is, so for the next episode will be terribly exciting because I will be trying to find out how to make some soap in this place. And I will be also doing a little work on getting some of those dragons to fight for us. And then I have another idea as well for sort of fleshing out the fortress defenses. Traps, I felt, are not the dwarfiest means of defense, so what I thought might be good is getting some, say, ballistae pointed down this hallway to welcome any intruders. So that might be a fun thing to do as well. Alright, so coming up right on 30 minutes here, so I guess we'll call it good for now. And I will save this so that I don't get too far ahead and resume before too long. Well, thanks for watching. Sorry it was relatively uneventful, but I promise you that more exciting things will come. And that's all for now. See you next time.